Joining me now, it's Townhall Editor and Fox News contributor Katie Pavlich. Welcome back, Katie.
Hey, Kennedy.
So let's discuss Obamacare, the wall, prosecuting Hillary. Which one of these three big promises do you have to follow through on as president?
I'm not sure he has to follow through on any of these promises. Donald Trump waffling on the issues is not something we're just seeing now post-election. We saw this on the campaign trail, and of course we've seen this in his past before he decided to run for president. And looking at the past year and the way people came in and voted for someone other than Hillary Clinton, I think people really, quite frankly, don't necessarily care about promises being kept. They just wanted to try something different. I mean, the fence, the wall is not something that's new. We had the 2006 Fence Act. There is a fence on many portions of the southern border. I think that the Hillary Clinton prosecution thing might get a little more traction just because if the FBI is still investigating the Clinton Foundation, that is obviously separate from what he can do as president. So there's a variety of things he promised, a lot of things that he said on the campaign trail that didn't add up to what he said later on in the campaign as he headed towards closing in on Election Day.
Yeah.
But I think we're really going to learn that all politicians are the same, and they all make promises and they all break them.
Well, and it's also easy to make promises when you haven't been inside government, and then you step inside the bureaucracy and you see how overwhelming it is, and it's like a game of political Jenga, and if you pull out the wrong piece, the whole thing falls apart, which is the ultimate argument against bureaucracy and too much government in the first place. And that's the problem with passing something like Obamacare, is you can't just work around the edges a little bit and trim here and there because you're left with the status quo. I mean, of those three things, the most pressing, the most important, especially if you're talking about preserving freedom, particularly economic freedom, is doing something drastic with Obamacare.
Right, and that's something that the majority of the country believes in. So politically for Republicans, it would be a very good thing to repeal all of Obamacare and replace it with something like Paul Ryan has suggested in his Pathway Forward plan. I mean, there are solutions to getting rid of Obamacare. Trump argues that he wants to keep certain aspects of that. He said there won't be a period where we hear all this hysteria about throwing people off the rolls, them not having health care. There will be a 2-year period, he says, where people can transfer plans. But you're right, Obamacare isn't just about health care. It's about the economy as a whole. And I think that you saw with the stock market and with small businesses across the country when Trump won, there's a reason why they're looking positive, because they believe that at least a little of that will be alleviated if Congress can at least maybe peel back some of these regulations as we move forward. But it's going to be a big task. And
I think you will see members of the media pushing him on some of these divisive issues, because they want to continue the divide as opposed to coming together and getting out of the way so businesses can either spring up small businesses or create jobs, the ones that already exist, and you know, create more tax revenue that way instead of forcing people to pay higher taxes. Katie Pavlich, come and see us in the studio sometime soon.
I'll be back to New York soon.
Very good.
Soon.
All right, we'll see you. Thanks so much, Katie.